everybody, and welcome back to the I Am CDB channel. This evening I'm here with the inspector, who's a shaving enthusiast as well, a friend of mine. And I thought we'd shoot a video while here. And this is shave-related content, not ranting about various social issues, but what I want to discuss today is the need for buying gear. And I'll discuss it with the inspector here. All this summer I've used carts, different soaps, different creams, and just about everything I have, including the carts, do a good job, really. Used carts on my head. I've used the Harry's a lot. I use the head blade a lot. It's all worked fine. I haven't had any problems all summer using carts. So based on my experience, what I would tell people is just use whatever you like. Is there a need to buy a ton of razors and gear? My answer is absolutely not. There's not a need to do that. If you want to, you can, but is there a need? No. It's all about hobbyists when you're talking about buying tons of razors, tons of soaps. Quite frankly, the pursuit to buy all this gear in order to find the very, very best, it's pretty much all for naught. I'm just going to tell you. And I realize a lot of vendors and folks aren't going to like that, but I'm just calling it like I see it. Having bought thousands of dollars worth of stuff, at this point it's all pretty good. Not everything, let me take that back, but the mainstream stuff, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all quite good?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I started back in 2014.
This is Shock Top beer, by the way, courtesy of the inspector. It's good.
It's good stuff. This is a high.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But, yeah, I mean, you really don't have to, like you've said before, over the last, 3.5 years, it's all good. Mostly everything is good. It's all about, when you're a hobbyist, it's all about experience, right? Every razor brings in a different experience. Mm-hmm. A soap, whether it's the scent, you're like this about that, and then, you see what you like, and it's whatever works. And it doesn't matter what it is, if it works, you do it, I mean.
So here's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
If you're spending a lot of money because you're looking for that item that's going to make all the difference in the world, it's going to change your life in terms of shaving, you're probably not going to find it. I'm just going to be honest with you. And again, I realize things like this don't go over well with vendors because they make their living selling gear. And you should still continue to buy this gear if you are a hobbyist. Please buy all the gear you can reasonably afford.
Thank you. I will.
You're welcome. But if you're just looking to get the best shave possible, you can buy a very, very decent soap at $12, a very, very decent razor at $30 or under dollars, an aftershave at $12 and under dollars. For under $50, you can get a fantastic shave. And if you spend $500, the level of greatness of that shave over your $50 is not going to be very much. That's just my opinion after having spent thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, all things aren't equal, and especially when it comes to craftsmanship of hardware, what you're really paying for is craftsmanship. And when you get these custom brushes by Peter Wolf and Nathan Clark and many, many others, you're paying for their time and their blood, sweat, and tears and their artistry. And they make wonderful products. But you can also buy a Razor Rock Big Bruce or something for $12, and it works just as well, to be quite frank. Now, again, from a hobbyist perspective, it's nice to buy all the gear, but do you need to? The question that we're getting is, must I? And you don't have to, in my opinion. But it's fun if you have the funds to spend and you want to go through trying all these soaps. I'm going to be honest, between the soaps that run in that upper echelon that are in between $10 and $20, they're all so close together in quality that it's hard to pick one over the other. other. They're all quite good. You name one, and it's probably very good. There are some stinkers out there that we've experienced, but the mainstream stuff is all pretty good. So, the point I'm trying to make is, you don't have to go on a buying rampage at all times in order to get a great shave. And, you know, whenever I come off sabbatical, and this is sort of my, stepping back into making videos about shaving again, probably do it weekly or something. I always come back having learned something, and this summer in particular, as I've experimented with carts, and a cart shaves me just fine. I used one this morning, a Harry's razor. It shaved just as good as the safety razor, but it's using the traditional 3-pass method. For my money, that method and using a good soap and a sharp blade is what means the most. The hardware itself, a little less important. Having that good soap and that good sharp blade and technique trumps the hardware, in my opinion. Now, unless you have bad hardware. If it's just bad, it's not going to be a good shave. But all this stuff about needing to buy everything, look, if you're a hobbyist, go on and buy it. If you are tight on funds, you can get a very, very good shave for not a lot of money. You can go to Sterling, you can go to Italian Barber, you can go to Magra, you can go to all those places and buy very fine products. You can go to Katie's Bubbles, you can go to Peter Tricala's shop. All sell reasonably priced gear. The main thing that I would say to new folks is, there's absolutely not a lot of reason to spend, particularly on soap. The $50, $60, $70, $80 soaps, I have found that there's almost no difference in quality. Now, others will argue that there is. It has never been the case for me that even some of the very best, the Marc de Condre, whatever you want to call it, they're very good. But is it a $70 soap, $60 soap? No, not really. I mean, it's good. I like it. I still have the Fougere, and I love it. But is it that much better than a $12 Sterling? Not really. So that's sort of my point of view with respect to spending a ton of money. What do you think, Inspector?
Agreed. Now, granted, I don't have nearly as much as some of you guys out there. As much as I love soap, the running joke is I go through aftershaves, and I do. I mean, yes. I'm the, I'll take the restrictor off the bottles. I was just showing Chris. See, look what I did. I took the so that's my thing. But it doesn't matter. You can get a $7 tube of Palmolive or a shave stick. It's whatever works. Now we have different skin types, and that's a consideration. I have very dry skin, so we were talking about just stuff like pre-shaves. I'm one for pre-shaves because I have dry skin, and if I don't use it, what happens is my face gets tight, even with balm on some occasions. Okay, and I wind up getting razor bumps. And you guys know, some of you guys know, razor bumps, it's awful. They're just, but what is it, for us hobbyists, it's about variety, right? Because we want to try everything because that's what we do. But in terms of, how many times have I heard of this is the only soap I had, I wouldn't complain, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's Razor Rock, if I have Razor Rock soap, or doesn't matter what it is, if I really like it, does the job. If that was the only thing I really had to shave with, hey, I'd be fine with it. So,
I would agree.
Right?
Yeah, the main thing, like I said, is you don't feel compelled, like you're missing out if you don't buy everything. If you want to, if you have the funds, go for it. Mm-hmm. However, if you're tight on funds, and I've echoed this in the past, but I thought it was important to do it again, you don't have to spend yourself into the poorhouse on shaving products to get a great shave. Yes, I think it makes a difference having having these nice products, but it's more from a hobbyist perspective for me. That said, the traditional method really made all the difference, at least for me personally, because I used to get crappy shaves prior to doing it in the traditional style. But what I learned this summer was, even using modern equipment, or at least a razor, like the Harry's cart razor, shaves me just fine as long as I use a traditional method. And I could get, between 5 days and a week out of a blade. And that's shaving my head and face. That's stretching it a little bit. But for a good 4 or 5 days, it does just fine shaving both, because I shave both every single day. I've used the Body Shop Maca Root cream. I don't know how many times this summer. It's not particularly expensive. If you don't mind the scent, it's one of the better creams out there.
Yeah.
And in some ways better than a lot of creams that have been sold for a lot more money.
I'll tell you what, yeah, the maca root, just guys that are on a budget. Now I happen to love the scent. It's sort of a little citrusy thing going on, or whatever.
A little floral for some people.
A little bit, but the performance, especially if you're a new guy out there, I mean, it's just phenomenal. This stuff just explodes. It's just slickness. It's just top notch. And, normal price is what, about $13, I guess. But, you go to the Body Shop, sometimes you'll get a deal. You buy 3, you get 1 free, or something like that. So, I've even tried their deodorant. They have the cream in the tube. They have a lot of good stuff. So, it just, you just can't discount that. I mean, it just gives you a top-notch shave for really not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Changing the subject a little bit, there's something that we've discussed before, and something I thought I would reiterate. Because when I make a video like this, a lot of times people are like, oh, he's telling us not to buy stuff. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you're on a fixed budget, you can be frugal about it. You can get a great shave. You don't be compelled to go buy all the most expensive stuff, is really what I'm trying to say. Having said that, for those who will come in here and complain and go, he's a turncoat or trader or whatever, first of all, I don't care. But secondly, there's no reason for grown men to be fighting about shaving gear. Because if we told normal people, and some, people who are shaving enthusiasts are different, in some ways than most. If you told friends of yours that you're a shaving enthusiast, they'd probably try to lock you up. Let's be honest with ourselves. But if they knew how much fighting went on with this vendor wars, and this one doesn't like that one, and I've been part of it myself, quite frankly. Never deliberately, but, there's some things I won't buy and use because I don't meet my personal standard, and I've made that known, and that is what it is. That doesn't mean I dislike the people involved. In some cases I may, in some cases I don't. It doesn't really matter. But the fighting amongst the cliques who follow these various brands, and they're like acolytes for brands, and anybody who doesn't like that brand is targeted. They're always doing silly stuff. This is just stuff that's juvenile. It should be beneath the dignity of grown men. And it's a shame that I even have to bring it up, but I thought, since I was sitting here with the inspector, that, I'd just say it again. Look, guys, enjoy what you want to enjoy. If you like brand X, and a lot of people don't, go on and enjoy that. There's no reason you shouldn't. And I'm not telling you not to. Even the brands that I don't use, I don't tell people not to use them privately, publicly. When people email me about brands I don't use, I just tell them I don't use them. However, a lot of people do use that, so they should try it. It's for you to make your own decision. Don't be swayed by people who say, oh, that guy's a douche, or what have you. Make your own decision. If they treat you nicely, if they're good customer service, then go on and use that product if you like. But don't get into this, fighting. It's gotten so bad, particularly around certain brands, that anybody that even has any criticism, people just jump in immediately. Like a guy can say, I didn't like the scent of that soap, and you'll see people jumping. It's the great, you're just a hater, and it's like, come on. I mean, people should be able to criticize things, brands, businesses in a fair way without being attacked. And so, because if this is just an echo chamber of everybody, I love everything, what good is it? If we all just love everything, then if we love everything, then really nothing's good. So my point is, go on and just enjoy yourself. If you're in this for a hobby, why not?
Right. I'm fortunate enough to be able to attend meetups. A lot of the New York meetups we just had on the cruise with Peter Sharkalis and all these guys that I met, phenomenal. That's how you learn. That's how you enjoy.
Yes.
That's what it's all. When I've said this for a long time, we've had conversations. Strike up a friendship. Call somebody on the phone. What's going on? This is how we learn. I trade, I send stuff to some people and I don't expect anything returned. Sometimes we do that. I'm sure there's 1,000 stories of guys out there doing that. And that's what it's all about. When you get your shave on in the morning, what do? You take the time out, you do what works for you, you feel good about yourself, you go out there in the morning and you say, you know what? I mean business. You're ready. I've heard this not from myself. Nothing is ever original what I say, but it's a good shave. When you go out the door, it sets the tone of the day.
That's true.
And you've said it many times before. We're getting off to a great start.
That's right.
And it's all about your experience. And if you're able to turn somebody on, encourage people to find, to find their way to do the same thing. That's the real payoff. When you give somebody and they say, you know what, I never thought that this could be, and that's what it really means. And you have to look at the bigger picture.
I would say, if you do start off with a good experience, which is what I've said, carry that on into work. And so and this is a little bit off the topic, but when you go into work and you pass somebody in the hallway, look them in the eyes and say good morning, and be serious about it. There's nothing worse than people, when you pass them, you go good morning, or you go, how are you? I'm here. I know you're there. I can see you. I mean, just carry that, for me, a nice shave, you feel good, and that sets the tone for what should be a good day. If you're going to go in and mope around, stay home.
Well,
just stay home. Nobody wants to see you.
It's I say this, I've said this, and once in a while I'll post shave of the day. I say, play the game like you mean it, right? Be sincere, and, when you get a good shave on and you're, it sets a tone, and it gives you a little bit of a swagger, right?
It should, if you have any testosterone left in your blood.
Well, you know what? People that know you, people that know me, know how I am with this stuff. So, yeah, I could be a little bit over the top sometimes the way I go about it. But,
Sorry, he's not... the camera's not exactly...
Yeah, I think you get me in the sort of in the corner, but that's it works, right? It's a pretty good, nice mount there. It works well.
It's working. I don't know if they can hear of the crickets in the traffic, but...
You hear the crickets? The traffic is the Garden State Parkway. We're right off the Garden State Parkway, but it's quiet enough, and it's a great night. But anyhow, getting off topic. So.
Anyway,
yeah.
Thanks again for watching. I'll probably record some things throughout the weekend. There's some folks coming over, friends of ours, so I'm sure I'll be back with you, and I'll be doing more shaving related content and other content. It's all on this channel now, the I Am CDB. I'm done with having 2 different channels. I just want it in one place. And if you don't like the social commentary, don't watch it. Right? Just skip on to the shaving if that's what you like. And if you don't like any of it, don't watch it. I mean, it's okay. I enjoy it if people enjoy it, but if you don't, you don't. It's completely understood. And I do appreciate the time that you spend and have been over the last number of years. So I really do appreciate it. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. We don't all have to like things. We don't all have to like the same people. And that's fine with me. And that's really all I have to say this evening. Until next time, I forgot what I was going to say. What do I say? I forgot.
Make it merge.
Oh, let's help. Let's help make the entire world shape great. Again, thanks for watching.